All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to you all. Somebody let me know once we're rolling. I'm checking as well, so one more stream from Nevada. Just let me know when we're live. I'm checking, and I think rolling and good. Thank you to say. That's all I needed to know. Appreciate that, my friend. So welcome, everybody. Day number 604. October the 20th, 2023. Today is actually my oldest daughter's birthday. She's 24 years old, so happy birthday to Grace. And away we go. Lots to cover. Guys, thank you for being here. I know it's a little difficult sometimes when I'm traveling. I don't have all the bells and whistles, so I truly appreciate your support, your care, schedule changes, all of that jazz. So we thank you for being here. Now, next week, I will be traveling back to Pennsylvania, and I actually travel on Monday, and I'll remind you of this at the end of the stream, but live streams next week will be Tuesdays, Wednesday, and Friday. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday of next week, but we'll have it out there on social media. Now, speaking of that, I'm telling you guys right now that when I get back home, I'm going to start a Rumble channel. I'm still going to go on YouTube until it's over, but a really interesting thing happened. Yes, the video from last night is still up. However, today I was forced to take community awareness guideline training. How about that? I was forced to take community guideline awareness training for understanding misinformation. I guess they're the judge and jury. I don't know, but everything's good. And we're cooking here. We'll see what happens. So let's start by looking at Ukraine tonight. I can tell you that right here, Beterslav was hit the hardest today, as well as over here in Konstantinivka, and we will look at those. I can tell you also over the last couple of hours, they've had air raid alerting and missile alert warnings for Odessa, of course, Kherson, and Mykolaiv. That's where we're at. Other than that, the fronts are pretty quiet, and we'll see. There is 4 drones in the air right now coming out of Crimea up this way. 4. Yes, they know all of that, so we'll see. Desaid, welcome to you. You're the first one here. Chuck Pinkham, welcome to you. King over there in Great Britain, across the pond, welcome to you. Linda Cassia, Rick Berry, JDO, Gaza Strip question. Wouldn't the easy solution to the Mazel tunnels be to fill them using the Mediterranean Sea? And that may happen. We'll get to that at the end. A lot more tonight connecting Ukraine, the war in Ukraine, and also Israel. We'll get to that. That may happen, to be quite honest with you. Fody Family, California, welcome to you. King Raccoon, what's a Robble channel? It's actually Rumble. I'm putting it in the chat right there. I'm just going to create another one. I've got lots of options. There's different platforms. Also on Integrity Television, where there's no, I'm completely free. But, you know, YouTube has this chat, which is really good, and it's a part of us that we're able to communicate. And, you know, you guys know each other. I mean, how would a Desaid know a King Raccoon, and a King Raccoon know a Skeghead, and a Skeghead know a Rick Berry, and a Rick Berry know a Ricochet, and a Ricochet know a JDO? And these guys are from everywhere. So this is awesome, and it's amazing work that we're doing. And just think about it this way. We're all honored to be a part of the same team as we learn together. Nobody knows all the answers, but we work together. So there's the spiel. Exactly. How would you know Zhenya? And you're getting ready to get to know him a whole lot more here in a couple of months when I'm back. Now, same battle here at Ivanivka. Russia pushing very hard on Ivanivka. Ukraine holding the line here. Ukraine still trying to hold up here on this line, but Russia has the offensive, and they have the advantage there coming into the north of Kupiansk. Coming down to Bakhmut, you see right here, I've got Konstantinivka circled, and there's a reason. Konstantinivka this morning was hit by S-300 missiles. They are some of the big boys, and that Russia has an unlimited supply of, but they hit Konstantinivka, and fortunately, and I don't know how it happened, it's a miracle, but they took out an entire residential section, and there was not one loss of life. There was quite a few injuries, but fortunately, nobody lost their lives. Additionally, everything stays the same up here as the push in towards Torsk and then the push down towards Lehman. You know, when I get back home, being on the road like this, I figured out, as you can see, how to be able to mark the maps and use little different technology for trying to share with you guys the way I can at the studio with all the horsepower. So if you guys like it, how I'm able to write on these maps and maybe draw things out for you, I'm definitely going to add this to the home stream. I'll just bring in another camera with all this stuff on it. That's not a problem at home. But I think it's really cool, you know, because, I mean, here we can say this was the Battle of Soledar. You remember this? That's all the salt mines. Of course, for months, we watched the Battle of Severodonetsk, and then they're coming in. We do lots of aid work there in Siversk. So it's very cool. So we'll keep adding this. Anyway, Konstantinivka, the big hit. Bakhmut, quiet. However, down here, let me zoom in. You guys know this is the line with Klishivka. And the line hasn't moved at all. And they're just bombarding each other. But I bring that up for a purpose. Do you guys remember? Do you? It works for me. Zooming in on your apartment, circling, drawing X and sharing it to the world. Okay, to say 100%. I will... no more showing where... Listen, I'm not even telling you where I'm at in Yarrington. You guys got me scared to death. I'm just playing. I love you guys. So, Klishivka, do you remember about 4 weeks ago, President Volodymyr Zelensky dropped 10 personal photos. He does this about once a week, and quite often I share them with you. These are personal photos of the war that he has picked out to help tell the story. Now, of course, he's not out taking the pictures, but he's getting them, of course, as the president, and he shares them. Well, about 4 weeks ago, he shared the pictures of Klishivka. And remember, I showed you where every building in Klishivka, every house, the one church is level to the ground. Remember that? That was Ukraine sharing that photo. Well, today, this is what Russia shared. Russia shared this picture and said, this is Klishivka that Ukraine leveled to the ground. Look, here's the roads. This is it. This is all Klishivka is. And every house is destroyed. And Russia came out today and they used Volodymyr Zelensky's photo that he had given to the world a month ago. Put it on all the Russian media, and now the Russians are going crazy, saying, look, see, the Nazi Ukrainians, they're just leveling their own cities. Ukraine occupies this territory. So this just shows you, this is what they do. It is every day. This is Klishivka, 100%. But that is not what Ukraine did. That is what Russia did. But they spin it. They turn it. Now, coming over here, Adviika continues to be the same. The trouble area in Adviika is right here. Right there. Now, it's all trouble. Don't misunderstand me. Russia really has a push here. They really do. And Ukraine is held up in the middle here. But our big problem is right here on the M30. Right there. Because Russia has broken through Ukrainian line there. They've pushed the Ukrainian line back. And in fact, let me show you this map here. When you see on these maps that you guys can look at on your own or I share with you, when you see these triangles here, whether it's the Russian side or the Ukrainian side, of course, these are in blue. So this hasn't been updated yet, but I'm telling you right now, Russia has, if I go to a red, Russia has already broken through that line right there. They busted it. And now Ukraine is having to pull back. So Adviika is a problem, and it's only going to get worse as we go forward. It's just the way it is. Down in the south, Zaporizhia, nothing has changed. Russia attacking Robitny. Russia did push back on Verbovi, as we talked. However, Ukraine is trying to push down toward Kopani right here. But everything here in this pocket they created stays the same. In fact, here is a good example where Ukraine did the same thing. So you see where Ukraine came in and took Verbovi. Well, they broke through this Russian line here, and that's what Russia has done over in Adviika, and this is where Russia's pushing back. So that's what's happening down there now. Kherson. Let's see here. Nope, let's go here. Yeah, Kherson right here. Nothing changed. Shelling here, but Berislav today, this afternoon, a school. Fortunately, the kids were not there. The kids were not in school because they don't go to the buildings anymore on those front lines. However, that building is no longer there. I have video of it. I just can't push that through right now, but literally it's a 3-floor large school building, and it's now nothing more than a pile of rubble as they took that out. Now, I want to tell you guys a story about Lviv. So you guys know that we tell you the truth to the best of our ability. The best of our ability. And that is even if egg comes on the face of Ukraine. Every time, well, I can't say every time, a majority of the times where Ukraine has busted collaborators or busted people in their own government or military for trying to, for example, evade the corrupt, evade the draft, evade mobilization. We've shown it to you. This one's a little different. Over there in Lviv, which is very western Ukraine, of course, that's the border with Poland, right here. Two collaborators, went out and took out the power grid on the eastern side of Lviv. They went to one of these things here, undid, I don't know how, undid all of the bolting, and weakened it to the point where this collapsed and took out the right side of the power grid. They have been arrested, and they now facing 10 to 12 years in prison. You may ask, well, what do you mean? I'm telling you. Two guys, one was 29, one was 59. Took down a power, not a pole, guys, in a neighborhood. One of the, whatever they're called, the big ones that carry the high voltage. They weakened it, it collapsed, power grid went down in eastern Lviv. So now that's having to be fixed. This is what's happening in Ukraine. Now, you guys know this guy here. This is Klitschko. This is the boxer, heavyweight champion. This is Zelensky, president of Ukraine. This is the mayor of Kyiv. They have been working together very well. However, there's quite a bit that they disagree on. And Vitaly Klitschko, this guy right here, this guy, is extremely powerful. Equally famous to Zelensky. Zelensky's now equally famous to him. Let me say it that way. We're talking about Klitschko, as far as Ukraine goes and the world, very, very famous. Very, very rich. He's the mayor of Kyiv. He and his brother, they're really good people. However, there's a lot of policies that are happening in the war where he's trying to take care of the city of Kyiv as the mayor, and he's responsible. And you're talking about, a city of 3 million, metro 4 or 5 million, huge city. Power pylon, thank you. They've had quite a few disagreements over the war. In fact, very heated disagreements. Klitschko came out today, and in a video stated, Ukraine does not need to vote for president during the war. I can tell you right now, Klitschko wants to be president of Ukraine. He has political aspirations for Ukraine. He loves Ukraine, and for the most part, he's a good guy. But, really big deal today for this to happen. We're talking about some of the most powerful people in Ukraine, and Klitschko came out and said, I support President Zelensky 100%. He is correct. There should not be a presidential election during a war. There is no way we can have a fair election. We need to stand together so that we have a Ukraine to vote in the future. So, inside story here. You won't see this on any headlines, but please hear me. This is really big news for Ukraine and very, very good news. Also, this is Danilov. You guys have seen his picture. I've talked about him many times. He is the Secretary of Defense for Ukraine. He's not the defense minister. He's the Secretary of Defense. He's the big boy. And he came out today and made a statement because there's lots of chatter going on out of the Kremlin right now because Putin made some references in China about Ukraine surrendering and Ukraine backing down and giving away the territories and the war ending and all of this jazz. And Putin said, because I really want peace and peace has to happen. Danilov came out today and made an official statement. He said, stop. Ukraine is not going to surrender. Ukraine is not going to come to the negotiating table. Ukraine is not going to stop fighting for our territory and our homeland. Donetsk, Lugansk, Zaporizhia, Kherson, and Crimea are ours. So don't listen to it. Don't listen to the propaganda. We are going to fight for our country. Now, this is interesting right here. Switzerland and Norway. Switzerland and Norway. This is a double-edged piece of news right here. Switzerland and Norway are paying 1,000 up to 4,000 euros per Ukrainian citizen to go back to Ukraine and go back to their homeland and fight for their homeland. In Switzerland and in Norway, they've been wonderful countries. You know, Switzerland's not military wonderful at all. However, they have been helpful with humanitarian aid and refugees. Norway has been very helpful with military and also with humanitarian aid and refugees. But these two nations, and I personally believe we're going to see much more of this. So Ukraine sees this two ways in their commentary. A, they're thankful. They're thankful that Switzerland and Norway have kicked in, and they're not forcing the Ukrainians to leave. They're not. But they are paying their way plus expenses to go back to their homeland. A, they're beginning to become a burden on their social services. And Norway said it very plainly. It cost us a lot of money. And if these Ukrainians, some of them want to go home, it would be better for us to send them back home, let them help their country, get a job, go to war, whatever, and we'll pay them. It won't cost them a dime to go home. Switzerland following suit with that. So we're going to see if that starts happening in other nations. So, you know, there's some positive in it, and there's also some negative in it. You know, you can look at it two ways, but that's what's happening there. Now, another piece of truth I've got to tell you tonight, unfortunately, and I want you to know it. Of course, here's Jania, the man. And here's two ladies right here that we delivered fresh water to, right here in these water pots. You guys bought those, and Jania delivered them. This is down near the Novakakovka Dam. I've shown you this picture before. I grabbed it so you could see. This is humanitarian aid. This is taking care of civilians. This, you know, when we're rolling or he's rolling, he's dropping aid like this. And of course, running military aid as well. But Ukraine came out today and said, here's the fact. Only 33% of aid given to military or civilians is getting to the target. If Jania was here tonight, if he was in the chat, he's asleep, he would tell you the same. It's this number right here. only 1 out of 3 things that is given is getting to the front. Now, I can tell you they included in that a lot of the things that get stuck in the warehouse in Lviv, get destroyed, but it's not just that. There's a lot of corruption. There's a lot of people stealing the humanitarian aid, taking it to Europe, selling it, taking it out of the country. As many bulletproof vests have been delivered, as many have been stolen. And, we're here. We tell you the truth. We tell you the truth. It's 1 out of 3. On the good news of that, you're here and you support through our community. I can tell you that for us, in fact, I'm going to do this. For us, it's 101%. Every dime that you guys give, every piece of equipment, anything, it gets there. And the reason I say 101%, when you guys give online and through the links or whatever, credit card fees are charged, all of that, it's never taken away from your donation. If you donate $100 and the credit card fee is $250, our church pays the $250 plus more. Never is there an admin fee. Never is there a salary. Never is there anything. We don't do this to make money. We do this to give money. We do this to give help. So the other organizations may be at 1 out of 3, but as far as NAPRAM, Bridge Builders, Greg Terry Experience, Bethel Church, all you guys, we are 101%. So hopefully that makes you feel better when you see stuff like that. And when you see that number 33%, that's not Zelensky stealing it. It's not. There's a lot of corruption that they're fighting and cleaning up. Why would they even tell the world? Why would you even give that fact? Unless you want to be transparent and clean it up and change it. And that's what's happening. So I can tell you right now, and you guys know, I've talked about them many times, they may be doing a lot in Gaza, but the Red Cross is doing nothing in Ukraine. 0. Okay. 10% of what they could be doing. The millions and millions and millions of dollars that has been pushed into Ukraine via the Red Cross, for the most part, sitting in warehouses. Greg, you should set up charity in UK. Not only do all the fees get paid, but government adds money to it as well. Oh, okay. Thank you. That's where we're at. That's where we're at, guys. Vladimir Putin made a statement today. Unless you watch Russian TV, you didn't see it, but this is what he said. I have it. If it's home, I would play it for you, but since I'm not home, I will quote it for you. Quote, "Yes, I saw the nuclear test in Nevada. Yes, I see the ATACMS in action in Ukraine. Yes, I see the support in Israel. And yes, I listened to his evil speech," referring to Biden, "of hatred towards Russia and all that we hold dear. I will remember it all." And that was it. Now, here's what I'll tell you. I have played for you multiple times, and I'll play it again when I get home. It's 10 seconds. Remember, Putin being interviewed, and he says, "What can you not forgive?" He says, "I can forgive. There's only one thing I can't forgive, and that's betrayal." And of course, you see how Prigozhin ended up. And folks, he's dead. He's gone. When Vladimir Putin says, "I'm going to remember," he may be a terrorist. He may be Putler. But his memory works. And he's a really good chess player. So when open comments, and I did go and listen to the speech, open comments that are calling a nation evil and terrorist, and this man's country does sit on the UN Security Council, is one of the most powerful in the world, does have tremendous influence globally. I pray Mr. Biden is willing to back up the rhetoric that he put out. Because it's one thing to call Hamas terrorists. They're terrorists. But it's another thing when you start calling Vladimir Putin evil, Russia evil, a terrorist. You better be prepared to back it up. That's all we're going to say, and we'll have to remember. But that is what Vladimir Putin said today. Additionally, really interesting, Vladimir Putin also went here to Rostov-on-Don today and did a troop inspection. This is actually the closest he's been to Ukraine. I mean, he was just 100 kilometers from the front lines. Maybe 150 kilometers from the front lines, but 100 kilometers or less from hostilities. So it was very close. He went down there today, he made a statement. He got out of China, he stopped in Perm, which is a city in Russia, and then he went to Rostov and he did an inspection. All that tells you is, folks, they're not going anywhere. Also today, and it's really interesting, you know, Don Giannolini, you're very right. The world will not forget Putin's war crimes and his attempted genocide in Ukraine. Exactly. We won't forget that either. I just hope that our government, specifically, is prepared for what could happen. We better be. I can tell you today that 5 MiG-31s were relocated to Sevastopol, to the air base down there. These are the ones that will carry the Kinjals or the daggers, the hypersonics. And these are the airplanes. This is a MiG-31 that's going to be flying the coastline. It's going to be running sorties nonstop to keep the air alarms going during the fall and the winter. What's really interesting, though, is Ukraine has shown the ability to hit this area with relative ease. So, I mean, it's public knowledge. They put 5 of these jokers down there. That's not an Su-25. That's a MiG. So we'll see. Ukraine has the ability to strike that very well and has done so. But we'll see. 5 MiG-31s now in Crimea. Ursula came out today. Ursula is the head of the European Commission, the European Parliament, and all those things. I don't know, the European Union is so interesting with all the way the governments come together, except our friends in Great Britain there. They did the Brexit. U.S. test explosion at Nevada security site to improve nuclear detection. Yes, I'm in Nevada, and I can tell you, I did not feel a rumble, but fortunately, it was far from me. Yeah, we have battleship in the Red Sea. F-35s can easily reach it. In case you do not see it, U.S. conducts nuclear tests in Nevada hours after Russian move to revoke global test ban. Yeah, and that's why Putin came out and made a statement, very clear. This is Ursula's statement today. She said, Vladimir Putin wants to wipe Ukraine off the face of the earth. Hamas, which supports Iran, wants to wipe Israel off the face of the earth. Russia and Hamas are similar to each other. As Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky said, their essence is the same. Both of them killed and took hostage innocent civilians, including babies and children. This was a barbaric way of fighting. And if this infection is not stopped, it could spread from Europe through the Middle East and into the Indo-Pacific region, said the head of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen. Fantastic statement, and she's spot on. I do know that a few hours ago, 2 Americans, they carry dual citizenship with the United States, are from Chicago and Israel. They were released by Hamas. They came through the tunnels and out into Egypt. They're now back on Israeli soil. And, you know, the world's cheering that, and rightfully so. But that doesn't mean we let our defenses down. Don't think just because 2 are released from Hamas that's going to change everything. And I know that President Biden trying to slow down the ground invasion, and you're hearing lots of rumors now that, well, Israel's going to back down. They're not going to go in there. That's all baloney, guys. 100% baloney. They're going to wipe Gaza off the planet. It's going to happen. I mean, up to the last minute of every piece I'm getting from my guys and my friends over there. They're going to do it. So we can't wait for them to play this game. Hamas just playing a game, letting a couple go, but we're very thankful for that. Now, let's play a game tonight. This is a picture from today. The question is, where was this picture taken? Where was this picture taken? Very interesting. While you're thinking for a minute, I listened to a lot of different news networks, and they are saying Russia's different because Russia doesn't want to wipe out Ukrainians. Made me sick to hear the lies. Fody family, California. Yeah, that's because probably. You may make a truthful analysis for you, Nate. Probably a lot of the news you're watching is being written by the Kremlin. Period. Rick Barry guessing Washington, D.C. No, it's not Washington, D.C. Actually, it's Hebron in the West Bank. And what I want to show you guys, U.S. Embassy, Lebanon. Close, it's Hebron. It's right here, Hebron in the West Bank. But I want to go back to the picture, and I want to show you this. This is a picture from today. I agree with the friends in Israel. I agree with our friends in Ukraine. Volodymyr Zelensky states that there's no difference between the regime in Russia and the regime of Hamas, and you can add to that Kim Jong-un. Benjamin Netanyahu says there's no difference. It's easy to look at and see there's no difference. This right here is Palestinians in the West Bank, and we see Putin. Don't tell me that Russia's not connected to this. We see Kim Jong-un. We see USA out of the Mideast, U.S. capitalism addicted to war. We see the Russian flags. We see children. Look at here. Children. They don't look happy. We see older people. See a young boy here. We see the typical faces we expect. Teenagers. And you may say, okay, well, that's just Russian propaganda, and the Russian propaganda is doing that. And okay, so it's Russian propaganda. If that's how we want to look at it, I'm cool with that as well, because all that will do is validate the story that Russia's completely involved in this. 100%. So let's just take the propaganda out of it, and let's say this is not propaganda, but this is actually the opinion of the Palestinians there in the West Bank. Some of them may be Hamas. Israel says 80% of Palestinians in Gaza are Hamas. We don't know the real numbers. So sure, there's probably some Hamas there. But Kim Jong-un and Vladimir Putin and U.S. out of the Middle East, what else do you need to see? This is right here in the West Bank in Hebron. Hernan Conti down there in South America. Welcome to you, my friend. Odell Lucas. Good information. Appreciate that, friend. I watched about 10 different channels that are around the world as well as the U.S. and they wait for the updates, confirmed, not the truth. Keep it going. Decide one younger female, every other person appears male. Yeah, it's just, yeah, look at that. Good observation there. I don't know. All we can do is wait and see. I'm just telling you that even if people want to come out and say it's Russian propaganda, that's even worse because they're there and controlling the narrative. You've got to look beyond the single line story here. Oh, well, it was just some propaganda. Yeah, okay. Well, that's even worse, guys. This is madness. Absolute madness. Now, Pentagon coming out today. I assume you guys saw it. I've got a little picture here. Xi and Putin, Zelensky and Biden, and the Pentagon in the middle. And the reason I'm doing that is because the Pentagon came out today. I'm sure that some of you saw this and confirmed 100% that China is supplying drones, and we've already discussed this, and equipment. Not weapons per se, but military equipment and drones to Russia. Now the Pentagon calls Xi on it. So I don't see any way at all that the relationship between Xi and Putin, Xi who hates the West, Putin who hates the West, Zelensky fighting for his nation, and Biden being Biden, how does this not divide the world even more? We have Biden dropping fiery statements toward Russia last night. I'm cool with the statements. You just better be able to back them up, sir. And then we have the Pentagon coming out today and giving a report about China supplying Russia. The world better be ready for what's coming. That's all I can say. The world better be ready for what's coming. Now, another way that Russia is helping Hamas. Actually, Ukraine released this information today. When I tell you that some of the best computer people and best hackers in the world, and I don't mean hacker as being like a negative connotation, computer geniuses. In fact, the boy that helps us here, young man that helps us, Vladimir Zelensky's his name. I've shown you his picture before. He does a lot of our video editing or translations. His name's Vladimir Zelensky. He is a hacker. He is a brilliant, brilliant computer guy. And if I need anything done, he can get it done. So Russia, of course, the Russians and the Ukrainians are they're out there as far as the ability for computer work. And Ukraine actually releases today. You see the website, Hamas.ps. And this is actually their IP address. And it was last seen today, 10/19/2023. Now, here's the deal. If you try to go to that website, most likely you're not going to get there because it's blocked. But you can get there through proxies. You can get there through VPNs, okay? You won't get there if you're just trying to do it on your phone or through your home internet. But if you go around the wheel, you can go right. And this is Hamas's website. So you have some interesting things here. They're using Alibaba, which is Chinese, that does have U.S. investment. Additionally, this one, their server is located in Russia. So Ukraine is trying to get the world to understand that although they are fighting a war against Russia, now the war between Israel and Hamas has broken out and the world's putting attention there. So Ukraine understands that. That's why they were very thankful with the speech last night and the aid, and we'll see what happens with all of that. They were thankful that the world's not forgetting them. However, they're trying to prove a case. And the case is, do not think these are separate events. They may have started at different times and they may be in different geographical locations, but the same evil is behind both wars. It's Russia, Iran, China, and North Korea. It's the axis of evil. Do not make any mistake about it. So they're trying to put out information to help. So they've put out, this is Hamas's website, and they want the world to know, where is the Hamas website hosted? It's hosted in the country of Russia. So there you have it. Now, while Ukraine is doing this and trying to show the world, in fact, I'll just scan back through. While this is happening in the West Bank there in Hebron, and down with America, give us Putin, give us Kim Jong-un, happening right there in the West Bank. And then we've got all the rhetoric coming out of the United States over the last 24 hours. All you're doing is creating a bigger divide, and you better be able to stand up. We see Hamas website hosted in Russia. We see Alibaba is the technology that they use. It's all public record. These guys can find it. What's happening in America? Well, this, my friends, and Nathan, this is right up the street from you. This is Professor Gemma DeCristo. And my buddies in Israel sent this today and said, please share this. I said, okay. Gemma DeCristo is a professor at UC Davis That's outside of Sacramento, California. Assistant professor, look at this, guys. Assistant professor of American Studies, undergraduate faculty advisor. Listen, y'all can look at this. I mean, her address is right there where she posted this. That wasn't too bright. She pulled one of my numbers. Assistant professor of American Studies, undergraduate faculty advisor, UC Davis, Gemma de Cristo. This is her tweet. One group of people we have easy access to in the U.S. is all these Zionist journalists who spread propaganda and misinformation. Miss Gemma can't even spell. They have houses with addresses, kids in school. They can fear their bosses, but they should fear us more. Knife, axe, blood. My buddies in Israel said, please share that. And they sent so many more. Doctors there in Liverpool, in England, vascular surgeons, heart surgeons, same message of hatred. Folks, I just want you to know, especially for you guys here in the United States, and for those of you that are watching abroad and you know, you appreciate us guys here in the States, and as we appreciate you from all over the world, this is what we're battling in America. Assistant professor of American Studies, UC Davis. Folks, we could probably research and do this for an hour and just show different. This is everywhere. And very, very, very sad. They said show it. Now, last thing for tonight, and I'm going to give you guys a get out of here. Here's where we're at. Lebanon, let me change the color. I've tried to paint the picture once again, the connection of the war, updated you on Ukraine, now updating you on Israel. Lebanon, Syria, and Jordan. Russia came out today, and told all their citizens, and even Israel, sorry. They told all their citizens who are in Lebanon, Syria, Jordan, and Israel to leave immediately. Do they know something? Of course they know something. Secondly, this is the Gaza Strip right there. This is the West Bank. This is the Golan Heights up here. JDO, you asked a question at the beginning of the stream. Why not just flood the tunnels? And I told you that may happen regardless. So I can tell you right now, there were 6 hours of silence today while the 2 Americans were evacuated and released. After that, Israel began bombing Gaza again. And listen, YouTube's got me so goofed up, I didn't even want to show the photo of it. It's unbelievable what Israel just dropped on Gaza. I mean, they're not playing. Additionally, 5 times today, Hezbollah fired at Israel from the north. Ukraine. Israel is firing back into Lebanon. That's not getting any quieter. And today, most importantly, Netanyahu, and I can't remember his name. I think it's Galat, the defense minister. I'm almost positive it's Galat of Israel. They both reiterated that we're thankful to the United States. We're thankful to the European nations. We're thankful to nations that are helping us and standing with us. But make no mistake about it. You can wish what you want. You can try to slow us down. We've respected you. We've done everything we can do, but we will not change our plan. We are going to wipe Hamas off of the globe. We are going to do a full invasion of Gaza on air, land, and sea. So the air will continue. You guys know the tanks are there. They're going to come from the north, and then they're going to come via the water. So that's why I said, JDO, those tunnels may get flooded. Israeli diplomats are out of Turkey. That's correct. Nothing about the U.S. ship shooting down missiles and drones in the Red Sea. No, other than it happened. Very quiet. Syrian government wanting to take Golan Heights to win favor with its people. Yes, sir, that's correct. Listen, you guys know we've got a ticking mess. I'm trying to be careful the words I use. YouTube's got me they got me nervous. But we've got a ticking mess right here. And what I want the world to know and what I want you guys to be aware of is it's the same, guys. It's the same. Whether it's Israel or Ukraine, you've got evil tearing up this region of the world. Russia, Iran, China, North Korea, and the terrorist groups there throughout the Middle East. So it's all coming together. This is where we're at tonight. I will check Kherson being shelled right now. And everything else is good. I think actually I even developed the way to do this. And we can see also that Ukraine is quiet right now. So that's all good. So guys, thank you for being here tonight and appreciate all of you very much. Now, I will tell you this, Nathan, it's a new axis of evil. Yes, it is. Put this in your memory bank, guys. Next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. Rick Barry, you make a good point there. Israel is fighting for their very existence. Political expediency has no place in this war. I would push you a little further on that. This is why I think eventually it's going to be one and the same. I personally believe all this is going to it's just going to expand and it's all going to be one mess. But Ukraine is also fighting for their survival, their nation, their dirt, their land, their culture. Israel fighting for their dirt, their land, their culture. It's the same story. I just want to shout it from the top of the Burj Khalifa in Dubai. It's the same story, and the world needs to recognize it, and we have to deal with both of them and stand with them. So thank you guys. Appreciate all of you as always. It is tough over there in both places tonight. Next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern. Unless something goes crazy, I'd always come on from anywhere I'm at. Monday is a travel day for me. I will be heading back to Pennsylvania on Monday. You guys be blessed. Have a good weekend. If something dings today or tomorrow, make sure you have the notification bell on. YouTube could pop in anytime. We're mobile. So be blessed, guys, and we'll see you Tuesday, if not before. Have a good night. And then that's typically where I would put the outro music, but I don't have it, so I just got to hit this button.